Let's dig a bit more into that. So what is important really from education is pretty much uh, two things: is be able to develop yourself and to know yourself and to know your surrounding. Right? You pretty much develop yourself, know yourself, and know your surrounding. Know what is available to you. Typically when we talk about doing a SWOT analysis, when you're trying to gain ground, either in a new area, old area, but you're trying to make progress in life, right? We'll talk about SWOT analysis. And a SWOT analysis is simply knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. Those are the two things that you know and you are in control of. You're in control of your strength and your weakness, right? Those are internal to you. It's who you are, right? Now, the things you don't have control of and I stand out to you are the opportunities and the threats. So it's called a SWOT analysis: your strength, your weakness, the opportunities and the threats, right? Your strength and your weakness is just who you are, right? The opportunities and the threats is what is in the environment for you, right? That can either work for you or work against you. But when you are aware of all of this, then you are then able to strategize. You are then able to use the resource that you have to gain mastery, right, in the chosen path that you have for yourself. You know how to harness the opportunities, and you know how to evade the threats or put things in place to as it were, fireproof you from the threats, and so, and that ties to what John Wooden says. John Wooden would say that it's what you learn after you know it all that counts, right? So it's what after you've known it all, you've graduated, you have a certificate, you have a degree, right? It's now what you learn after that. That's what's going to help you, right? It's because once you finish your school, it's just a starting point, because then you're now, the rubber is hitting the road. You're now coming to the workplace. You're coming to the marketplace. If you think you've learned it all at that point in time, you're going to be a failure. Another thing to tie to it is what war strategists will tell you. People like Desert Fox, what's his name now, the German Marshal. You can do all the plans you want to do. Those plans will not stand when you hit the battlefield, because the battlefield is reality, right? So you have to then adjust your plan to the reality you see on ground, right? Which is like what I shared several times concerning my farm. My first time I've ever visited my farm, right? I had imaginations, beautiful pictures of all the things I was going to do. I was going to build a chapel. I was going to have a library. I was going to do this. And I guess as I was communicating this to my workers, they were probably laughing at me. How will I be able to do all of these things I was thinking about? But you see, I'd not seen reality. So I had all my beautiful plans, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, and I was just like Abraham, who was looking for a city whose maker and builder is God, a city with foundation, right? And you're allowed to, right? It's just the way the imagination works, right? And you need to do that, right? You don't have to constrict yourself. You need to be expectant. It might take time for me to get there, but it's going to happen, right? Because I am not going to get or grow beyond my imagination, right? My imagination is the limit of how I can grow or where I can grow to. So I had all of those beautiful pictures, but when I visited, I had to then put those beautiful pictures against the reality on ground, right? Then I need to adjust my plan, right? My beautiful picture will still come to pass, but it's going to take time. It's going to take the process of time. It's not just going to, right? But I need to be realistic with where I am, then begin to build from what I have, to get to my beautiful picture, right? And that's what John is pretty much talking about, when we need to be open to learn, right? All that I've learned up to this point, should help me learn to face the reality of the real world, right? We all step out there tomorrow, Monday, we're going to be back at work, right? Then we're going to probably face new challenges, old challenges, right? Then whatever we've learned before needs then to be brought to bear to face the reality that we're seeing, right? So it's a place of continuous learning, continuous development, right? Jim Rohn will also put a hand that says that, it's not just being in the marketplace, that people pay you for, right? It's the value you bring. And the value you bring to the marketplace is a function of who you are, because we produce or reproduce who we are, right? You can only produce to the extent of who you are. We cannot produce beyond ourselves. The value of the work that you produce, the value of this presentation that I'm having to do right now is a function of who I am. The value can never exceed the value that I have intrinsic inside of me, right? I am pretty much just reproducing myself in the value of this sharing here, right? So the value of it, the weight of it, to the extent to which it's going to bless anybody or not bless anybody, it's a function of who I am as a person. Because as I share, as I work, I am reproducing myself, and that's why Jim would say that we need to work much harder on ourselves than we do on our job, because our job is a reflection of who we are. The more valuable we are, the more value work we produce, and the market will pay not for the time in the market, but for the value that we produce, right? It's not the degree that the market is paying for. It's paying for the value that we bring to the marketplace. And that value is dependent on who we are as a person.